Captain's Log, December 31st, 2015. Hi, folks. Hope everybody's had a great Christmas and happy holidays and also Happy New Year to you. I decided to break hiatus and come back with a new Captain's Log to talk a little bit about Star Trek Axanar and the unfortunate lawsuit that Paramount just slapped on this fan film today. I guess yesterday now. It's after midnight as I'm recording. Sorry to come back on such a sour note, but this is a thing I really wanted to talk about. Just found out about this a few hours ago. I got a lot of Facebook messages about it. Decided I might as well go ahead and make a video because I won't have a chance to talk about this until next week on the radio show, and I may bring it up again there, but I wanted to go ahead and do a quick video and talk about it. So anyway, so Star Trek Axanar, I'll give you a little bit of background if you haven't heard about this thing. This is a fan film that has raised 4 Star Trek fan films in, I think, an unprecedented amount of money via crowdfunding, Kickstarter, and Indiegogo. It's raised over $1 million, and it's done by a lot of Star Trek alum, a lot of actors that have been in Star Trek, and it is one of these professionally made fan films that still counts as a fan film. An emphasis on fan film, that's going to become very important a little bit later, in that it is a thing made by professionals, so it will look more or less like something that could be put on television or in the theaters with the limited budget that it has, but it's made by talented people who know what they're doing and have been in the business and have worked on stuff. It is produced by Carter Smith, Neil Fisher, and Jennifer Weberly, and is starring Kate Vernon, Tony Todd, Richard Hatch, Gary Graham reprising his role from Star Trek Enterprise as the Ambassador Saval, and J.G. Hertzler. Amusingly, Tony Todd and J.G. Hertzler are both not playing Klingons in a fan film that's about a war with the Klingons. Axanar is a battle that we've heard of before. It's the thing that Garth was involved with before he became the insane, totally out to lunch Lord Garth from 3rd season TOS, and it takes place 21 years before the 1st season episode Where No Man Has Gone Before. And is really neat in that it's a thing that, instead of making up a brand new story, is dramatizing something that we know a little bit about and that is in Star Trek canon and fleshing that thing out in this big battle with the Klingons. Well, Paramount is angry and has decided to, as I said, file a lawsuit against it for copyright infringement. Now, this is not a thing that, as I'm aware, they've ever done to any other fan film. We just had Renegades come out this year, which was also done by a whole lot of Star Trek alum. It was spearheaded by Tim Russ, directed by Tim Russ. It's the second one of these that he's done. It's not set in the same continuity, well, unless you considered all this stuff canon, I suppose, but he also did Of Gods and Men, I want to say back in, 07? And anyway, so this is not an unprecedented thing to have fan films made by people that have been in the business and involved in the franchise that they're doing a fan film for. We are closing the gap all the time between what's considered professional and novice, and these things are fan films only in that they are not considered official canon for a thing, and that they're not allowed to, the people making them aren't allowed to make any kind of money on them, a profit. And but we've seen a lot of fan films over the last several years that as the technology is getting cheaper and as it's becoming more accessible and easier to put these things out for people to watch. They're becoming things that people who are really passionate about something, regardless of whether or not there's any money in it for them, there is an audience, and there are places on the internet, YouTube and other such sites that have made it really easy for things to become to go viral and people to enjoy these things, and so you get incentivized, and I can really relate to this with the stuff that I do, that you're just incentivized more by just the fact that people are watching and enjoying your stuff than by any kind of profit that you might make from it. And so this stuff is becoming very, very popular, and Paramount is trying to set a precedent to make that harder to do, and I very, very much hope that they lose this lawsuit. And shame on them, honestly, for doing this in the first place. I'm going to try really hard to be level-headed and not make this a rant, but this bothers me. Paramount has been playing a lot of dirty pool lately with Star Trek. And first, we've got the new movie Star Trek Beyond coming out. I'm very unhappy if this is true with what allegedly happened, that Paramount told Simon Pegg that his initial script was too Star Trek-y, and he basically had to make it dumbed down and more mainstream. I don't know how true that is, but if that really happened, that's awful. Simon Pegg's not happy with the trailer, with the way they're selling the thing. He swears up and down that it is a more thoughtful and less generic film than the trailer looks. I like how honest and candid he's being about that. We'll see what the film actually looks like. I don't like the way they're selling it. At the very least, who knows what it's going to actually be like when it comes out. Hope it's great. Sure doesn't look great, but I hope it is. And then after that, we find out about I guess this is before that trailer came out, but whatever. So you've got that, and then you've got the new show, which seems to be is coming out in 2017, a year after the anniversary. It seems to be a lot more about selling CBS All Access, having an excuse to try to force people to buy that, than it is about actually making a new Star Trek show. Paramount seems like the last company right now on Earth that should have a franchise that is all about a utopian future where people are more concerned with bettering themselves and creating a better world than they are about their own monetary concerns and getting all that they can. It's awful, and now they're showing those colors even more by trying to force something that is being made just for the love of the property, that is not for, as far as I know, any sort of profit whatsoever. It is illegal to do that, to make something that is copyrighted something else and that someone else owns and try to make money on it. It is not illegal to make something of that and just show it to people. Nor is it, as far as I'm aware, illegal at all to raise money and pay people to make a thing that there will be no profit on. If people want to give their money to this thing, and in order to make it possible for these people to not only pay for special effects and locations and props and things, but also, I would assume, so that they can eat for the duration that they're spending a lot of time making this thing. I don't believe that there's anything inherently illegal about that either, and none of those are things that they're complaining about. What they're complaining about is copyright infringement. Well, the problem with saying that you're using our characters, and I'll read you a couple quotes here in a second, that you're using our characters, you're using our ideas, is that, A, they're not making any money on it, and B, you've never shown any irritation about these sorts of projects before. We've seen other companies do this. Marvel, I mean, I don't want to single Paramount out, except that they're doing this insane lawsuit, but Marvel has made it difficult for people to make fan films of their stuff before. I just don't understand that. It seems like good advertising. Certainly, it has been a proof of concept thing for a lot of people to, like, jumpstart their careers. I don't understand why that's a problem. Honestly, at the very least, I just don't understand how that's taking money away from the people who own the property. Honestly, I think this has everything to do with the popularity of this. There is a Prelude to Axanar short film that is just absolutely fantastic. The writing is wonderful. The acting is great. Using a lot of very talented alum. It looks like such a wonderful gap bridger between Enterprise and the original series. The tone of this thing, by the way, reminds me a lot of this book, the Federation, the First 150 Years, and this chronicles a lot of events that are never dramatized in Star Trek that kind of fill the gaps for things, and it's a wonderful history book. It reads like a textbook, and and I think maybe some of Axanar is in this. I forget, because I haven't read this in a long time. I would assume it would have to be. I want to read that again now, but anyway, that's the tone of it's a lot like that, and it's got this like documentary feel where all these people are being interviewed. It's a really clever way to cut cost without it looking like it's lacking in production value, and all the CG for the ship battles and things look just absolutely glorious. So anyway, it's a thing, suffice it to say, that I'm very excited about, and a lot of Star Trek fans are, because it looks like something that we would love to be canon, and it looks like Star Trek. It's exciting and fun, but it also is thought-provoking, and I can't say that as much about what we've had lately with Star Trek, and there's been an attempt to get as many butts in the seats as possible in trying to make it more, accessible to a general audience without taking the care to make it as idea-driven as I think a lot of us Star Trek fans would like it to be. No, it doesn't need to be boring. No, it can't be an action thing. Star Trek has always been an action thing from the very beginning. It was just on a TV budget, and so it's a thing that people don't think about as much with it. And yes, it is very talky, and I get that the Star Trek in its purest form is not going to be for everyone, and I can appreciate some kind of a compromise on that, but I feel like what we've been getting lately is just been kind of watered down, and frankly, I think that Paramount is realizing that something like this could potentially eclipse what they're wanting to bring to us. I think that the timing is interesting, that and maybe is not coincidental, that just as they've announced a new Star Trek series, they're trying to shut down Axanar. This is a thing that has been worked on for a long time, and they're just now getting around to filing a lawsuit against it, presumably just because it made a whole lot of money and it's the only one that did. They're not yet, although they may, going after the Star Trek Continues, which does all the things that they're complaining about here in this lawsuit. They're not going after Renegades, which was, by the way, put together as a pilot, hoping that Paramount might buy it and make episodes. And now they want to throw lawsuits and try to take money from these people. For could you imagine if this happened to Renegades when Tim Russ was trying to pitch it to Paramount, and they would maybe slap a lawsuit on it for that? It's absolutely crazy talk. So here's how the complaint reads. It says, so this would be from the prosecution. The Axanar works infringe plaintiffs' works by using innumerable copyrighted elements of Star Trek, including its settings, characters, species, and themes. Yes, it's a Star Trek fan film. It has Star Trek in the title. Of course, it's infringing copyright. It's also not being sold as its own intellectual property. It of course, would come straight out and say this is based on Star Trek by Gene Roddenberry. This is a thing that we're putting out because we love Star Trek, because we are people that used to make Star Trek. We miss it. We want to be involved in it. Nothing's being made right now that we can be involved in, or even audition for and try to be involved in. They have no case, right? Surely they have no case. I mean, you just come at this with just straight up copyright infringement. They're not saying anything else, apparently, at least according to this article. I don't understand this, and if they win it, it would set a terrible precedent, because there like I said, there have been so many really talented people that have been able to show off their skills and get work, and people that should be working in the industry that can't otherwise get noticed, that have been making fan films, and dude, I just don't see why there's anything wrong with that. At the very least, I feel like what they should be doing instead is considering making an offer on Axanar and making it canon and making it part of their stuff and making money off of it. How are they not going to lose money doing this if they win? Like, how does this not? Because the Star Trek fans are paying attention to Axanar, obviously. It raised $1 million, and there is still a core Star Trek audience. Obviously, there's a bigger audience that they're trying to reach out to with Star Trek Beyond and with the movies they made already and with this new Star Trek series. But with the new Star Trek series, it's much more about the fans that are already there, because they think that they can get those of us that already love Star Trek to pay for their online service in order to watch it every time it's out. And this is going to hurt that immensely. I've heard a lot of people, and I don't think I'm overestimating the importance of this. I've heard a lot of people say, well, I'm not excited about Beyond. Who knows if this new series is going to be any good. Even people saying I don't want to spend $6 a month to have to watch new Star Trek. That seems like blackmail. Whether you agree with that or not, a lot of people are saying that, and then I'm hearing people saying that, and then saying, but at least we have Axanar. Maybe not. And Paramount wants to take that away from us so that we are paying more attention to whatever it is they want to sell us. You can't tell me that they're not going to lose more money than they're going to gain with the piddly amount of money relatively that they're going to make from this lawsuit. Why not just consider making the show? The Star Trek fans love it so far. They raised that much money. There's money in it for you. Why not endorse it? Why not bankroll it? And even though you have another series on the horizon, it might conflict with your vision. The nice thing about Axanar is that it's a thing that takes place in a particular fixed time in history that I'm positive isn't going to be the time in history that show is going to be set in. The new show, we don't know if it's going to be in prime continuity or in the Abrams verse. It doesn't matter. I mean, like, considering that Abrams verse is basically an alternate dimension, it's been talked about that way a lot. Even if you look at it as a linear thing, it's a sequel that takes place in the past. Even if it is paving over, you've got the original history, and then we come back over, it paves over. There's no reason that the way the timeline was changed in Star Trek 09, that this couldn't still fit in its continuity before that happens. I don't think. Like there's no reason not to make this, and it would be a fixed show. It can't be a thing that keeps going forever ad nauseum because it deals with a particular event that it chronicles. Why not make it as a TV movie? Why not see if these people could get in bed with you, Paramount, and just make some money off of it? I don't understand this, and it makes me really worried about the future of fan films if they win it just because they're a powerhouse in the industry. They have a lot of power, they have a lot of money, and they want to be bullies. If that all seems really harsh, explain why this lawsuit makes any sense and why it's why it's fair. I don't get it. They're going after something that is not infringing copyright in an unlawful way. I mean, infringing, I guess, automatically makes it like unlawful, but it's not a thing that they're making money on. I don't understand how it's illegal. They shouldn't have a case. If they win it, that's a really scary precedent. It makes me worried about Star Trek Continues and any other cool fan film project. The fact that so many professionals are trying to make Star Trek films right now should tell Paramount that people aren't happy with Star Trek. That their core audience is not happy with what they've been putting out as Star, and the fact that they haven't been putting out enough stuff, even if we like, what they've had, that just people are craving Star Trek. I'm not saying that it's I don't mean to imply that I have to have a Star Trek show on forever all the time. We have a lot of Star Trek. I don't want to take what we have for granted. I also don't want bad Star Trek in the place of no Star Trek necessarily. So I don't have to constantly have Star Trek, but people are craving it. And from a business, you might look at this and say, well, it's just business. This is dirty business from where I'm sitting, and they could be working with these people and not against them. And they're, by the way, people that have made them money in the past because they've been on Star Trek. I don't know. All this really bugs me. I know this was very ranty, but it's just how I feel about it. I'd love to know what you think, and let me know if you agree with me or not in the comments. I'll see you again very shortly with more videos here on Geekvolution. We're going to be back to full swing on things next week, and just made some videos tonight with Dan. I'll be getting those out with you very shortly. In the meantime, I'm Captain Logan, and thanks as always for watching. This has been today's Captain's Log.